to SveNFL.
What is up, y'all?
John Rollins.
Schif from Sarah.
Two Americans living in Sweden talking about football.
Oh, yeah, the pause is back. Let's go.
The pause is back. I'm back in the groove, man. Man, I was trying to do some reaction videos because those of you that don't know, I do have a YouTube channel and I react to classic Swedish music. And I realized that I'm so rusty, man. I've been out of the groove, and now I feel like I'm finally getting back into it with stuff like what just happened, you know, the pause, and it feels good to be back, man.
It's like this is like your preseason. You're just getting warmed up.
Yeah, last episode was preseason. This is like I'm trying to get to mid-season form because eventually by week 4, we're gonna be in the abyss.
Oh yeah.
We're going to drag other podcasts into the abyss.
And drown them.
Yeah, to the deep water and fucking drown them.
We're going to drown them. We're going to drown every podcast.
As a podcast, we don't care if they got 3 fingers and 2 assholes. We're going to kick their ass.
That's right.
Oh, we got to get that soundbite.
And we will out-podcast them in a parking lot or a fucking landfill. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Doesn't matter. I don't know why you would podcast in a landfill, but fuck it, you know.
I jacked my wrist, by the way. I jacked my wrist. Didn't know if I could do the up downs, but
that's what the tape is for.
Jack, I fell at home. I fell at home and jacked my wrist. He's the best, man. He's the best. Shout out to Dan Campbell. That's my ultimate wish is to get an interview, secure an interview on SveNFL with Dan Campbell. Then I know we made it.
Right.
If we could do that.
Media requests, man. I just think, that would be crazy.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good, man. We celebrated Isak's birthday this weekend. He turned sweet 16.
Happy birthday.
And we
did you do a Sweet 16?
I don't even know what that means, but I mean we had a party. Did
you bring any rappers out or like any did you do like a My Super Sweet 16 like type of thing or?
Yeah, we just invited a bunch of massage therapists over to, hook him up.
He's loose now. He's never been
We actually had a fascinating conversation about the concept of false hope and why the preseason and everything leading up to week 1 is technically, in my opinion, the best time of year because as a lifelong, he was basically my son likes to criticize me for having so much false hope for the Falcons. He's like, you always say at the beginning of the season, they're going to win the Super Bowl. Yeah. And I say to him,
they got an equal opportunity.
As a lifelong Falcons fan, who has seen how this movie typically ends, right now is the only time where I can logically dream of events that will likely never come to pass. This is barely means to be a fan. You know what I mean?
Who's your quarterback? Who's your quarterback?
Wait, what? Marcus Mariota? I don't know if any of you guys saw Hard Knocks. But there was a straight up white girl diss of Marcus Mariota.
Oh man,
which was so funny. That was hilarious.
I called Skip and I was like, "Hey man, you got to go to the 58-minute mark and 30 seconds of the episode."
37:50. You were like,
that's what it's 37:50. Go there and listen and watch and hit me up.
I started laughing as soon as I heard it. It was so funny.
Because what's the guy that they're really trying to push his sister in our face? It's so annoying. Hard Knocks, they're kind of creepy. They're creepy.
It's Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah, they're very creepy.
They do it every season. They find somebody they think is hot, and then it's insulting, man. They just push these women in our face. There's always somebody blonde and skinny, and they just like overdo it, give her too much screen time. I'm not here to watch her. I'm here to watch her brother in the short arms get to somebody's quarterback and punish him.
Little dinosaur arms.
Yeah. I want to see Tyrannosaurus Hutchinson make a sack with his chest. All right? Why are you showing me his sister? However, she gave me a great moment because they're looking to watch their brother make his first NFL snaps. Shout out to him. Congratulations to him. He looks like I believe in him. I think he's gonna be a beast. But they're watching him, and they got the announcer in the background. We don't even see anything. We're just looking at them because that's what Hard Knocks wants us to do. And in the background, you hear the announcer say, "At quarterback, number was it 7? Whatever his number is.
Number one,
Marcus Mariota." and the two ladies on there say, "Marcus Mariota." It's like even they know this is a bad idea.
As if like I thought he was dead, or you know
Did he get catfished? No, that's Manti Te'o. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, right. That's the other. That's the not so fly in Hawaiian.
Oh man, but yeah, that was a funny moment for me, man.
That was pretty funny.
Everybody go watch 37 minutes, 50 seconds into that.
I didn't watch. I watched a lot of the like 4-minute highlights of the preseason games. My interest in the preseason starts to diminish after week 1 of preseason. So,
I think teams have so many different strategies now that it's harder than when it was 4 games. Because back in the day, it used to be like, all right, you watch game 1 and game 3 intently. Yeah. Game 3 was the one where you get to see a few series from everybody's first team. It was almost like a thing that they all said. But now that there's 3 games, except for the people who play in the Hall of Fame game, they get 4. But the ones who have 3 games, they have different strategies. So you might see your team put their ones up for 3 series against a team that's not playing anybody. Then you really get false hope.
Yep. Sure.
So I hope the league comes up with like all of the, you know how they just have like almost handshake deals. Hopefully they'll do that. Like, all right, you put while your ones are out, mine will be out, so that I can know how I can properly like evaluate. It's pretty hard, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's also the strategy of trying not to give too much away regarding what your actual season strategy is going to be, which is always interesting. But but it's still fun to watch because there are moments that you see in the preseason that are truly spectacular. For me, the guy who won week 2 is this dude who came from the USFL, the MVP of the USFL, Cavante Turpin. Out there trying to make the Cowboys squad. He starts his night off by running a 98-yard kickoff return to the house. Yeah. And then he follows it up a few drives later. He's like, oh, did y'all miss that? 86-yard punt return to the house. Yeah. Let's fucking go. Like this guy.
If you name your child Cavante, he about to be a beast, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'll pick him on Madden every time. If somebody
put that shit Cavante on the list, son.
Yeah, did you see that play from that game? The injury?
No.
Yeah, man. Somebody cut block. They need to take cut blocks out of the NFL.
Oh wait, that wasn't that game. That was the
Oh, I thought it was a Cowboys game.
No, that's the one.
Because
that's the maybe Kayvon Thibodeau, the number 5 pick. That was the wasn't that the Bengals playing the Giants?
Oh, maybe it's Giants game. Okay, because I saw Micah Parsons said something about it.
Right. He piped up because he thinks that everyone's. We're going to get to that later, obviously, but I think it's one of those things where a lot of people are talking about.
Why is this?
What was essentially it's a legal block, but it's
why is it a legal block? You know what I mean? Like
it's legal, but a lot of people think, hey, the league should make this illegal.
It's crazy. Like after seeing that, immediately make it illegal.
Well, not only that, I think especially when you put it in the context of like how far the league has gone to protect quarterbacks, like you can't even you can't even touch them.
Touch him in the head. I saw a few of those. I'm like, come on, man.
Your finger can just like graze his helmet, and it's like, you get a penalty. So I just feel like there should be some. I mean, I feel like the rules in the NFL are they far favor the offense over the defense.
I was just going to say that because I've heard multiple announcers talk about how the focus is on illegal contact downfield.
Yeah,
like that's your focus. Illegal contact is your focus. Man,
I mean, anything that you can do to correct that balance, because I mean, you think about those defensive players and how they're just in the trenches getting their bodies just murdered on every snap. It's like it's the least you could do to help these fuckers out a little bit.
Yeah,
I
man.
think.
These, and especially like it's legal to do that to linemen. Like word, like these guys are the sometimes the least athletic person is the defensive tackle for the most part. Besides like an offensive guard maybe. But like defensive tackles got to like watch their legs now. You're able to just jump at their knees.
Yeah,
insane.
That's not cool. In what has been the worst kept secret of the preseason, the Carolina Panthers have finally made it official. Baker Mayfield is their starting quarterback.
What?
Yeah,
that's crazy. Who would have seen? What?
Apparently, Sam Darnold.
He
is
Darnold
not a starting quarterback. Go figure.
Wow. I just love this just to show the ineptitude of the Jets. This is the only thing I love about that.
Yeah, and also the ineptitude of David Tepper to basically go out there acting like Sam Darnold having a change of scenery is going to turn him into a franchise quarterback. It's like, dude, you motherfuckers. Him and Matt Rule. I mean, I'm assuming Matt Rule had to sign off on that. You know what I mean?
Probably not. Matt Rule's on the fucking hot seat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you would think you would check with your coach to be like, hey, what do we think of this guy?
Does this guy seem like somebody who checks with his coach for anything? Have you heard about the balls on his desk?
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. You might be right about that. Anyone who's on Nick Mullins' watch, which is probably no one.
I mean, I've never left it. What do you mean? I thought everyone was on there.
The Raiders have traded his ass to the Vikings.
I didn't know he was on the Raiders.
Yeah, so he started out. We saw him with. I think the last time we saw him in a real game was 49ers.
Yeah.
And then they traded him to the Raiders, and the Raiders have shit canned him over to the Vikings, where he'll likely be the backup to Kirk Cousins. And which essentially what happened was that you like that. We'll see. We'll see if Kurt likes that. But he apparently lost the backup job in Las Vegas to Jarrett Stidham, of all people.
I mean, it's not like it's not like the coach is biased.
No, exactly.
He brought in the backup that knows the system. It makes
Patriot
sense.
way.
Man.
Let's go.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Stidham has looked pretty good in preseason. I've seen him play quite a bit, and he looks tight.
I'm sorry, man. I can't.
Yeah, let's go, Jarrett Stidham hype. Come on.
I don't know, man.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Another of our favorite soundboard guys, Mike Tomlin, says that the starting QB job will come down to this week's work in practice and their
That'll be the last time that I address it.
Yeah, and their final preseason game against the Lions.
Wow.
There's some real I mean, I don't know if this is just like hype in the media or what, or if it's Tomlin's unwillingness to answer the question, but there's a lot of hype that Kenny Pickett could win this job outright.
Yeah. I'm not a big Rudolph guy, and I'm never been a big Trubisky guy, so and I think that they're gonna lean on the running defense like they do, man, like that whole division. So
I still think that Trubisky is going to get at least week 1.
Oh, over the rookie.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I still think that would be the logical thing to do. You brought him in, you give him 1 week, or you give him half a game. You know what I mean? It's like, see what happens. I don't know. I don't remember who they play in week 1, but it's probably a division rival. A lot of people are playing division rivals in week 1.
Yeah.
Let's see. Part 3 of the Roquan Smith drama was a complete and total dud. And now I don't think
they
we'll
play
ever
the Bengals.
learn the
My bad. They had to say it. They play the Bengals week 1. Really important game. Let's go, Mitch.
Let's go. So for those of you that remember Roquan Smith, we had a bit of a mystery. We were hoping we were going to learn the identity of this mystery caller who was pretending to be his agent. I was hoping for a really juicy twist here.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever happened, I don't know. It's basically over. Roquan Smith has decided to play out his contract. Saying that, quote, negotiations are over.
Lose.
And I'm gonna bet on myself.
Okay.
He didn't seem happy about it in his press release. He seemed pretty pissed. But I was hoping for some more.
Yeah.
Some more. I was really rooting for that. It was Roquan calling all along.
It
pretending to be
was
somebody else.
Just because they haven't said more about it doesn't mean it wasn't him.
Well, they just don't want to embarrass him.
Exactly.
Who knows? We might find out about it later.
Yeah, he'll come out and talk about it on a football life in 12 years in a football life.
Bad news for the Chargers. Derwin James. That's good news for the Chargers. Derwin James signs Chargers extension that makes him the highest paid safety in NFL history, $76.4 million.
Straight cash, homie.
$19 million per year. The reason why I said bad news is because there is a bad news story about them later. They got a injured player, J.C. Jackson, out 2 to 4 weeks. He was another guy they signed in the offseason.
Bullshit, not good.
Damn.
So I got my stories mixed up. I'm a little hungover today. I went to a TV premiere for that show Ghost Maman last night.
Okay.
So yeah, little slow in the brain bucket today, but
Is it a plug for the show? Do you want people to watch that?
I saw the first episode of the show at the premiere, and I don't have the slightest idea what the fuck is going on in that show. I saw.
Sounds like a ringing endorsement from.
I mean, it was episode 1 of season 6. You know what I mean? Like, I thought all the actors were great, so it was like, but there's a lot of backstory that I was like, all right, I guess that matters.
Okay.
But it was cool. It was fun. A lot of beautiful people, free drinks, free food.
Nice.
It was dope. This story was hilarious to me. I don't know if you caught this. UFC president Dana White claims that Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski to the Raiders was, quote, almost a done deal in 2020, right? And he was the man brokering the deal. But it all came unglued, according to White, when brilliant football mind John Gruden decided to blow up the deal. Now, obviously, this is a very interesting sliding doors type moment, right? Like, what if they had gone there? But it also solves a previous mystery.
Okay.
Now, perhaps you remember when Brady was on that show, The Shop, with LeBron James, and he told a story about a deal that almost happened before the Bucks came along, and it seemed like it was a done deal that suddenly just collapsed. And his thing was like, and they said, "Oh, it's because we want to stick with our QB." And Brady's quote was like, "You're sticking with that motherfucker?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?" So
Derek Carr.
by my powers of deductive reasoning, I have unraveled this mystery to reveal that this motherfucker is none other than the Derek Carr.
Oh, he was like, "What's wrong with y'all?"
So of course he's got the media blowing up in his ear, like,
shit.
So what do you think about that? And he's like, "Man, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Like, get away from me. I got Devonta Adams now. Leave me alone."
Oh man, it's
I'm
so
gonna
hard
play with my toys.
It's so hard to dislike Tom Brady, man. It's fun to hate him, but it's hard to dislike him, man. I don't know.
He's an interesting person. Yeah. He's back at practice, by the way. I still don't care why he left for 10 days. Maybe it's a family thing. Maybe it's a trip he planned with his wife when he fake retired. Maybe he went to pick up some things that he had already pre-moved into Dolphins Hard Rock Stadium. I don't know.
Maybe he was hiding some documents in Mar-a-Lago.
Sure. There's a rumor that he was the Masked Singer.
Yeah, I heard that.
I mean, I honestly, again, I don't really care. I think it's weird.
We do not care.
Yeah.
I think it's weird, right? But Brady gets to do whatever Brady wants to do, and I refuse to get sucked into his orbit.
Yeah, I'm good.
I do think it's funny that Antonio Brown is bothered by it. Like he's been tweeting about Brady taking time off. And it's like, dude,
Man,
just
go to the XFL.
just go disappear, bro. Like
He should go. That's what he should do, man. Go burn up everybody in the XFL and shit, man.
Yeah.
Or go to the Canadian Football League or something. I don't know why I like that. I was thinking about that the other day. Like Kaepernick, why don't he just go and play in a different league?
Something tells me that Antonio Brown would do an interview with anyone. We should try to call him. Right? Can you imagine if we got him on the show?
Yeah, he's just on some Swedish football podcast talking shit.
We'd be like, look, you can come on and just talk shit about whoever you want.
Yeah, I just happen to not like him.
No, I think it would be annoying.
Yeah.
I could only do it for 5 minutes before I would have to ask some like difficult questions that would probably cause him to hang up.
Yeah. Be like, I'm going to read some text messages you sent.
Yeah. Let's see. On to injuries. I already mentioned the Chargers corner, J.C. Jackson. My man, former Bulldog, Miko Hardman, left Chiefs practice on a cart with a groin injury.
Damn. At least it's groin and not like a knee or something.
Yeah. They also they got the Chiefs also have Chris Jones, defensive tackle, dealing with a back issue, as well as Juju dealing with a knee thing, and they got Mr. Marietta himself, Jerick McKinnon, is also dealing with a hamstring. So they got a few issues over there at Chiefs camp. I don't know what's going on.
I got a quick question for you. Did you get to watch a little bit of that Chiefs game?
I did see some of it. Yeah, Mahomes is. He's insane, dude.
Man, they are gonna, as I predicted before I said that they're gonna be, nobody's gonna know that offense. Like nobody's gonna, because people started figuring it out. They're gonna come out with a brand new thing, and it's just like looks like they're already banging it out. They look like they had Mahomes out for like 3 series, right?
Yeah,
that's probably all the work he's gonna do in the preseason. And they just look like they were on fire, man.
I know it's not a hot take, but I gotta say he's my early pick for MVP.
Okay, yeah.
He's without having really put a lot of thought into it, but I just feel like he also had what was statistically his worst year last season.
Mm-hmm.
He probably feels like he has a lot to prove.
I don't think he cares.
He's going to set the league on fire.
I'm just trying my best to play football. I'm going out there. And
just doing his Kermit the Frog impression.
Yeah. I'm going to tell the guys, all right, you guys go out there and catch the ball, throw the ball. That's all.
Let's see. We already talked about Kayvon Thibodeau.
Mm-hmm.
He suffered a sprained MCL from this cut block.
It looked worse than I thought it was.
It did.
It looked so bad. I was on the train and I was like, oh, everybody looking at me.
What I'm not here for though are these hot takes that somehow, I don't even remember who the player was, but that somehow it was like that it was a dirty player trying to hurt.
No.
Because that kind of shit where this happens in a lot of sports where things look like 3 times as bad when you put it into extreme slow-mo like that, because it makes the player's actions look so deliberate. Mm-hmm. But when you see it in real time, it's like, nah, man, he saw that dude and he made a move. And unfortunately, shit happened. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not here for like trying to hang this Bengals dude out to dry because of what happened. That's not cool.
No, I'm not here for that either. I'm glad you said that.
Those fucking slow-mo takes, man. I'm not here for that shit. Like, show me that shit in real time, and then we can have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
The Aqib Talib story has a round 2. Witnesses apparently say that the ex-NFL cornerback Aqib Talib started the fight that led to the brothers' alleged shooting of a youth coach.
He stepped down from...
Exactly. A few days later, news drops that he's stepping down from the broadcast booth. He had signed on to be part of Amazon's crew, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
He was my favorite new commentator, but
me too. I hate this.
It really sucks if it's true that he started the fight, but people could be just. I mean, they said that DeAndre Baker Like they were calling and saying that he was robbing people.
True.
And it turned out that was bullshit. So
yeah. And also, starting an argument with someone is not
it's
the same
not shooting.
as shooting
he didn't.
someone.
He didn't say go shoot him. And if he did, the dude still took the action on his own. So
I would like to know why would you be carrying a gun to a high school football game in the first place? But
not even high school. It was like Pop Warner. It was like kids. It was youth football.
Oh God, that's crazy. That's it for the main part of the news, with the exception of what is the main chunk of it that we haven't really spoken about, which is that, as most of you know, a settlement has been reached between the NFL and the NFL Players Association in the Deshaun Watson case. Rather than 6 games, Watson will be suspended for 11 while also receiving the largest player fine in NFL history in a settlement that is $5 million. Sure.
I guess it's better than. I mean, it's when you think about what the judge said or the arbitrator said.
Sure. The settlement will also include mandatory mental health counseling for Watson.
That's important.
And the Browns and the NFL will donate an additional $1 million each to sexual assault prevention programs.
You said Watson's the Browns and who?
The Browns and the NFL.
And NFL, okay.
Will donate money. Watson's first game will be back week 12 against the Bucks. Nice little warm-up match just in time for week 13 against, wait for it, the Houston Texans.
Oh.
Interesting.
I wonder why it was 11 games.
I mean, I have a lot of things to say about this, but I'm curious what your reaction is to this settlement.
I don't know what would have been enough as far as suspension and fine. You know what I mean? So like nothing would have been enough when I think about that. But I think the most important thing is them basically acknowledging that this dude has a problem and including the mental health stuff in the punishment. To me, that's the most important. $5 million is nothing to him. It's a drop in the bucket. 11 games. It hurts the team who decided to kind of excuse his behavior. So I think that's good. I think a year would have been even better as a fuck you to the team, but they also hid the money to help themselves out too. So it's a real big fuck you to them from me.
Right. Sure.
But I honestly, I just don't want more people to get hurt. And I think with these evaluations and stuff, even though he's pretending he doesn't understand, like I saw him speaking about it, still claiming his innocence. I think getting some help in that area is the best thing for him, and I'm glad they're making him do it because it doesn't seem like he would go do it on his own. So I'm glad about that part. I feel it sucks for the women. In the end, they're gonna get lost in the whole thing.
My basic take on this is that this is an amazing deal for Watson.
Oh yeah, of course.
Amazing deal for Watson. I personally think the deal is whack as fuck. And I came to that conclusion sort of gradually throughout the day, and it started by thinking about the numbers, right? So I did a little math, which is not something I usually do over the weekend. So it's a $230 million deal, $46 million a year. Year one, because of the way it's structured, as you mentioned, is only worth like a little more than $1 million. So the loss of 11 game checks comes to just over $630,000.
Okay.
Now, the $5 million fine, that number doesn't even affect this current contract when you consider that last year he got paid $10 million to sit on his ass and do nothing.
Just being a bad teammate, yeah.
Exactly. So you got $230 million plus the $10 million from last year, right? 240 million, math whiz, thank you. His total losses comes to $5.6 million, which as a penalty is just under 2.5% of his total earnings. To me, that's the definition of a slap on the wrist.
Of his total earnings over the next 5 years.
Over this contract and last year. Now, if the goal for the NFL Players Association was for the players to be treated just like the owners, congratulations, you succeeded. Because that's exactly what this penalty is. And as far as the league is concerned, I would continue to argue that this is still a mess of their own making.
Yes.
And they have consistently failed to do the right thing with dealing with these types of cases. They produce this wonderful product on the field that we all love to watch. But when it comes to the off the field shit, they belong in the same category as the Catholic Church, in my opinion.
Oof.
Okay. So also, I think it has everything to do with why they settled, actually. They had all the leverage to drop the hammer, but yet they decided to cut a deal. Why? Why did they cut a deal? The deal they cut is specifically to prevent the players' union from dragging the owners out into the open over all the dirty shit that they've done over the years. Because there was an implicit threat from the players' union that if you give him the year, we're going to war with you.
Okay, I didn't think about it like that. Damn, Schif, I didn't think about that. I mean, yeah, when you put it like that, it's another fuck you to the NFL. But the only thing to do, because they've set this precedence for themselves, is to rewrite all of their rules and begin holding. I mean, because this happened before they would rewrite anything. So based on their rules and their standards, this is above and beyond what they would do. So they have to, like, if I were them, like how we're saying that he needs to go and get evaluate, they need to do some self-evaluation and say, like, this shows that we haven't been holding ourselves accountable. Let's change that now.
Yes, because think about it. The thing that we all heard that the league was clinging on to when they decided to dispute the 6 games was this thing that was in the original report that Watson's behavior was egregious, predatory, and like had never been. It was unprecedented as far as the league is concerned. But now, while they were happy with that part of the original report, the statement at the beginning of the conclusion describing the NFL as a forward-facing organization, but not a forward-looking one.
Right.
That was the statement that the NFLPA clung onto. That's the one that they wanted to drag out into the light and say, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
And they should address both.
Exactly.
They should come out and say, we know that, like, that should be their response when somebody says, oh, man, it's fucked up that Watson basically got off with a slap on the wrist with 2.5% of his earnings after hurting, 27 allegations or whatever it is. They should say, you know what? We wanted to do more, but we realized our system's fucked up, and we're working on rewriting it right now to hold both players and owners accountable if they're going to be representing the Shield. I don't know. Yeah. It's like, do y'all really love the Shield, or is it just the money? They keep talking about protect the Shield. It's more like protect the money.
They care about the money, and they obviously know that. We've said this many times. Like once the season starts, this story fades. It goes away. Well, I dove deep into all the interviews, the press conferences after this news dropped, and honestly, some of the shit that came out was so crazy. The owner, Jimmy Haslam, owner of the Browns, he had some crazy comments, and I have to say, before we get into that, shout out to the Cleveland media for again asking hard questions.
Shout out.
They didn't get very satisfying answers, but they went after him. They were asking like, here's one question they asked. They asked him, looking back at your 5-month investigation, which I can remind everyone was something that the Browns claimed at the time of the signing as extensive, fully vetted, right? Very confident in Deshaun as a person, right? They said, do you find that Deshaun Watson's behavior to be egregious or predatory, or do you disagree with that assessment? To which Jimmy Haslam said, I don't really see any positives in commenting on that.
Amazing. That's a hard no.
The press continued to hammer away at him about how bad this looks for the Browns, right, as an organization, and how damning it looks for Watson, who was someone the Browns have been telling us since the day of the signing is a good dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
So between the GM, Andrew Berry, and owners Jimmy and Dee Haslam, every question related to Watson's lack of remorse and his insistence on his innocence, they managed to recycle this bullshit statement about how Watson is committed to counseling, right? Counseling is something he claims that, he didn't do. So counseling for this thing that he's saying, I didn't do this, but I'm going to get counseling for it. So I don't even understand how that works. But it was ridiculous. Haslam went on this insane rant about second chances. He said, quote, is he never supposed to play again? Is he never supposed to be part of society? Does he not get a chance to rehabilitate himself? That's what we're going to do. And
but
then,
he's saying he doesn't need it.
I know, but
That's
then he
the
said the
problem.
quiet
I'm saying
part.
Watson is saying he doesn't need it.
Yeah. And then Haslam said the quiet part out loud, and he said, and you can say it's because he's a star quarterback. And of course that's why. That's why he's getting, and he said, if this was Joe Smith, this wouldn't be in the headlines every day, which, we spoke about this over the weekend, and I was like, yeah, that's a great point, Jimmy, because if he was Joe Smith and first of all, shout out to all you Joe Smiths out there, having your name dragged in the mud. But if Deshaun Watson was Joe Smith, there's a very good chance he would be in prison right now. Yep. And if we as a society were so inclined to give Joe Smith a second chance, I doubt very seriously that it would come with a fully guaranteed $240 million fucking check. So. Yeah.
And they did that. It's like, you did that. It's not like
and they kept hitting him like, why is he so not? Why does he not show remorse? And the wife owner, Dee Haslam, she says he's only 26 years old. He's just getting into counseling. It's going to take some time. So we're supposed to forgive Watson for his lack of remorse because he hasn't been in therapy long enough. Is essentially what that answer is telling us.
I see where she's coming from though, because it's obvious that he doesn't understand what he did.
She also
it might help him understand.
She also brought up the fact, like anyone should get brownie points for this, that quote, the women involved were not trafficked. These were not massage parlors. I'm sorry, but what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
That doesn't matter. Yeah.
Why does that
mean
matter?
That certain people are allowed to be assaulted? The fuck out of here.
I mean, and then Watson's statement, obviously, was like the cherry on top of this pile of dog shit, right? He was asked, how do you go from, I did nothing wrong, I've never disrespected any woman, to suddenly settling so many lawsuits and then agreeing to this discipline? To which his answer was, well, I've always stood on my innocence, and I've always said I never assaulted anyone or disrespected anyone, and I'm continuing to stand on that. But at the same time, I have to continue to push forward with my life and my career. And for us to be able to move forward, I have to take steps to put my pride to the side.
So soon eventually he'll put his pride to the side. But he's taking steps towards it now.
And the follow-up question, which I thought was brilliant, was like, so what are you apologizing for then? To which he said, well, for everyone that was affected by the situation, because there was a lot of people that were triggered. And then the journalist is like, but so you're not apologizing to the women who accused you of this? And he was like, oh, I apologize to all women, anyone that was affected. As if we could just like wave a magic wand and apologize to every woman on the face of the planet, while also refusing to take accountability for what went down. Now, look, I know that he claims that his mother did not raise a predator, but I'm pretty sure that his mama didn't raise no fool neither. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's got to know that shit don't fly.
Yeah, man, he knows it. He knows it, but I refuse to believe that he doesn't understand now.
Exactly.
Like, you got to be thinking about it. Like, I don't know, man. People bring up the Kobe thing that he got off, like he was acquitted or whatever. I believe that's the way it happened. But later he spoke about it, and he said that when he read her statement and all of that stuff, that he just was like, I saw things completely differently, and I feel bad for her experience. Like, this is, you know what I'm saying? This is taking accountability.
This is like, yeah. And this is a little harder because it's like, okay, This is like 27 different. Like,
and this is predatory. No, this is that's the thing missing from the Kobe situation was the predatory part. His was just a one night stand type of thing. That I don't know. The two people felt differently about it, and it looked like an assault and all that stuff. And he was just like, "Well, I thought everything was all good." And his was a gray zone thing, but this one is a come in here, hit them up, everybody with the same tactic. The towel thing and all of that. It's so predatory and planned out.
I just think it's like the height of cynicism, in my opinion. This final quote from him where he says, "I have to do what's best for Deshaun Watson and move on with my career." Meanwhile, you have several women whose lives and livelihoods have been completely shattered, and there is no one standing around offering them a $240 million second chance. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, which brings me to the one victim, right? He settled all the cases except for one. This woman named Lauren Baxley. And when she was reached for comment, they asked her why she hasn't settled. She said, "I've rejected all settlement offers in part because they have not included any sincere acknowledgement of remorse or wrongdoing, nor have they included any promises of rehabilitative treatment."
Watson she's trying not to get other people hurt.
Yeah, Watson still refuses to admit that he harassed and committed indecent assault against me. Any settlement offer he has made has been a dismissal of his evil actions, and I know that unless there is an authoritative intervention, he will continue his destructive behavior.
Wow.
That's her quote.
It's a white woman. I thought all the women were black. Maybe they'll take it seriously with this one. Since it's a white woman, maybe people will hop in and feel put some more heat on them.
I mean, whatever. I guess we can say that for now this is over. Until
as soon as that season starts, like week 11 is going to come back though. They're going to be ready. They got to be ready for. Oh, I'm sorry, week 12.
Sure.
They got to be ready for week 12 for this thing to pop back up. After the press conference, he thought it was uncomfortable when he had to explain his offense during the press conference. This is going to be, explain your offense.
I just hope he plays like shit.
Yeah, man.
So,
well, he did in the preseason.
That's true, he did. Anyway, should we move? Last week we did some questions about the NFC. Should we move on to the AFC?
Let's do it, man. And the reason, I want to throw it out there, the reason that we're doing the AFC second is because the AFC is fucking better, okay?
The AFC is the main character, y'all.
The AFC is the main character in this movie called the NFL.
I mean, the Falcons are doing their part over in the NFC, to kind of boost the league. But, we can't do it all by ourselves.
Was there a quarterback? The Falcons quarterback?
What the?
Marcus Mariota. So fucked up.
All right. Let's start with the AFC East.
Yeah.
Perhaps you've heard of it.
AFC East, yeah.
I'm starting with the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
I mean, the main question with the Bills is obviously
how far can they fucking go?
Will they get over the hump?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is it really? Do you really think for this team it's like Super Bowl or bust?
Kinda. They've been to the AFC Championship game. They almost made it the year before. And I think it was the Chiefs that beat them both times. This is like that Bulls team that kept having to face Detroit and finally slay the dragon. So I don't know, man. I feel like that team. We're talking about the Chiefs looking like they're on fire. The Bills look good too, man.
Do you remember the last time a team like a presumptive Super Bowl winning team actually won the Super Bowl? I don't remember. Like, that preseason favorite.
Tampa Bay.
Were they really preseason favorites to win the Super Bowl that
when
year?
Tom Brady got on there, or some people were saying it when he joined the team, they were like they're immediately a Super Bowl. Him and Antonio Brown and Gronk. It was like
that's true.
Yeah, they're gonna them. That's kind of it, man. Because every year it's like
maybe one of the Patriots teams along the way or something, but
yeah. Or when the Patriots got Randy Moss, but they didn't win. They didn't win
exactly.
And then no.
I'm also very curious for the Bills. How much has their defense practiced that 13-second drill?
Probably, hopefully not too much. That shit's not gonna happen a lot. But I mean, I think the Buffalo, they look fantastic, man, and it sucks.
They do look good, but I'm curious. My final question on the Bills is, like, just in general, what do you think is the key to their season, and why is it my man, former Bulldog James Cook?
I think the key to their season.
He looked good, right? He looked good.
What does he play? I don't know who James Cook is.
What does he play? He's a fucking running back. Let Cook eat.
I was annoyed because the answer to the question is actually the running game.
See? Fucking told you. Singletary looked good in preseason as well. They look really good.
If they got a running game, it's almost over for everybody.
Feels like it's over. Because when they had their ones in, because didn't they run like
2 drives?
Didn't they have their ones in for 2 drives? I mean, I was like, man, they look good.
So I can only hope that they just lose their mojo. I don't know, but yeah, I think that's the thing they need is the running game. If they get that going, the defense is good. They got Leslie Frazier over there calling the plays too. They kept that staff together. Nobody got poached as far as I know. No major player, no major.
Well, just the offensive coordinator.
Oh yeah, that might be a difference. But they look like they didn't miss a step.
All right, let's move on to the Patriots. Last year, they quietly scratched out a 10-7 record. Mac Jones was the clear number 1 rookie quarterback last year, right? He was the best of the rookie QBs.
Who else was
more
there?
Or less.
I don't
Trevor
know. Zach
Lawrence.
Wilson was. Trevor Lawrence was like, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Mac Jones. Mac Jones. He was.
I mean, man, it was mostly because they kept him on a leash. They didn't let him go crazy.
I was gonna say it's hard to really judge it.
But the big question now is: will Mac Jones make the year 2 leap, stay the same, or is he going to fall flat on his face?
I think that leash is never ending over there. Until he shows that he's the real deal. You know what I mean? I think Belichick is kind of calling the offense too now.
That was actually my next question. This whole thing, the confusion regarding who's calling plays. Should we be worried about the fact that it could be Joe Judge and Matt Patricia calling the offense, or do we just feel like Bill is he just like a master of puppets? Like he's just saying shit and doing everything behind the scenes anyway.
Yeah, I think that's more likely the case.
But should Patriots fans be worried about that? I would be one of my questions.
I think Patriots fans are getting more skeptical of Bill Belichick because he might have he might have too much control, more than he needs right now. He's in his 70s. The league could be passing him by a little bit. He doesn't have his super dedicated, super knowledgeable as well quarterback in Tom Brady anymore to kind of put Band-Aids on all of these small issues. So it really has to be a tightly run ship. And I don't know, man. I think the fans, maybe it's time to start worrying a little bit. They've been to some dark places.
They have.
So they're probably like, man, please. They have to hope that Mac Jones is the second coming of Tom Brady. And I don't see it yet. But then again, in year 2 of Tom Brady, I didn't see it then either.
Yeah,
so you never know, man. It's just like it's the whole thing has got to come together. I don't think it's. I'd be a little worried if I was a Patriots fan, especially knowing where you've been, because I don't think they're. I think they're the 3rd best team in that division.
Interesting. On to the best team in the division, the Jets.
Yes.
A lot of people think the Jets stole the draft. They got DB Sauce Gardner. They got top wideout Garrett Wilson. They got that edge rusher Jermaine Johnson. They got running back Breece Hall.
They got Mike White.
But They got Mike White. But my question is, will all those picks translate into wins?
I mean, the hell, you can't just take your draft picks and it doesn't. Not all of them are going to be ready to carry a team. That's just not how it goes, man. These are still fucking 22-year-old men that's going against some savvy people that have been in the league a bit in some cases. So I wouldn't put all my stock into. I think it's building blocks. That's what the draft is for. So we can't just take a draft class and say, now the team's ready. That's just some bullshit they say because there's nothing on, no football on right now. So I'm going to say realistically, they're going to probably just be a little bit better.
I assume the Jets should be quite worried about. Obviously, Mekhi Becton he's out for the year, I think. O-lineman.
Yeah.
How worried do you think they should be about Zach Wilson, considering that he injured his knee last year?
Mm-hmm.
He does it again here. They say he's only going to be out for 2 to 4 weeks, but
I wouldn't be super worried about that yet. He's still young, and nowadays knee injuries aren't like it used to be, and I think it's just like people throw the whole injury-prone thing around too quickly. It's still shit can happen, you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that you're just like a brittle person. He didn't all of a sudden turn to Mr. Glass. So I think I'd be more worried about him making bad reads and throwing picks and shit than his knee. I think he'll be all right, and they'll get him rehabbed. But hopefully he's looking at film the whole time.
I'd be more worried about introducing him to my mom, to be honest. You know what I mean?
My mom needs some action. So I hope they meet.
That's actually, I have a non-football related question about Zach Wilson's banging his mom's best friend. My question is, fucking your mom's best friend, is that as close as you can come to fucking your mom without actually fucking your mom?
Nah, you got aunties out there. You got second cousins. There's you can get closer than her friend. Her friend could be nothing like her. So no, I'm gonna say no.
I was just curious. I have a sexual encounter with my mother's friend that I don't know. It's a story for another podcast, maybe,
yeah, man.
But it's
I definitely want to
when
hear
this story broke, I was like, hey, hold on. Don't be criticizing Zach Wilson. I've been there.
I've been there. It's sometimes hard.
Sometimes mom has some hot friends that are like a good 10 or 15 years younger than mom.
Yeah.
And things happen.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I won't go into any details. I'm just saying.
Oh, no need.
These things can happen.
Well, we're done with the AFC East.
Well, actually, also, I have a very interesting thought about this. So you remember the pop and all the street cred that Wilson got after smashing his mom's best friend? Remember that? Everybody was like, yeah, this dude's a stud. He's built different. Like, blah, 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 blah. Besides the fact that that's super gross. I'm curious if this will start a new trend where players under pressure will see a way out of that by getting down with mom's best friend.
I agree with that 100%. That's a great analysis.
I'm just saying, for guys like Tua, you know what I mean? This is how you get your fifth-year option right here. Go out and smash your mom's best friend.
Yeah, man.
You know? Speaking of Tua, on to the Dolphins. Is Tua the most under-pressure QB in the league, and why is the answer yes?
I wouldn't say most. I guess because it's that time, man. You gotta put up or shut up.
He's certainly the most disrespected QB in the league.
It feels like that sometimes,
right?
But I'm also under. Yeah, I know, right? He's under.
They go after Watson. They went after Brady twice. They never trusted him when Fitzpatrick was there. And they did the same thing.
Disrespect by
and
the
I'm
team.
curious. And I'm curious if they're going to do the same thing to him with Teddy B. I just feel like they never give this kid enough rope, personally.
Yeah, and the situation keeps changing around him too.
What do you think? Actually, serious question. What do you think Tua actually needs to do in order to be labeled a success?
Become right-handed. I think it's just fucking people's heads up, man. And bigger, maybe, I guess taller. I don't know. He's 6'1". It's so weird. I think that because he's on the shorter.
But do you think it's
in
as
the
easy
height-
as like they need to? Do you think it's as easy as like he needs to lead them to the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean,
guess.
winning solves everything. So, but I don't know if I would expect that with a new coach, a new system again. Like, I mean, I shouldn't say again, but yeah, he had a new offensive coordinator after the first year. He had 2 offensive coordinators last year. It's like a ever-changing thing for him.
That's weird.
And I don't know. We just gotta hope that he. I mean, he seems really resilient and he loves football, and I think he's got the tools. So he might not do it as a Dolphin, but he will definitely do it somewhere.
Interesting.
Might be a Mariota. Somebody might be saying Tua Tagovailoa in 4 years on Hard Knocks.
What's your early take on Mike McDaniel? Do you think he's the next boy genius, or what do you think?
Man, I don't know, man. I think it's
hard to say.
Yeah, I think we'll see after some games are played. I'm not super convinced yet. I'm hoping for the best and expecting mediocrity.
Do you have any idea what they're doing with all these running backs?
I mean, that's a Shanahan type thing. I think the running game is going to be good. That's just what they do.
How many running backs do they have? It's like Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, they brought in all. They kept all the Dolphins running backs, brought in all of this the 49ers running backs, and they're going to see what happens. I think they'll. That's the one thing they do, man. They run by committee. It's a Shanahan thing. Everywhere he's been, they do that shit. So I think he carried that with him, and it makes sense. I'm not worried about the run game because he came from that Shanahan tree. So
let's just hope they have an offensive line.
That's the thing that plagues this team.
Because that's been their problem, yeah.
And it's a different type of blocking scheme. So who knows if they have the right personnel for it? We'll see. You need some athletic linemen to do that zone blocking.
All right. On to AFC North. Bengals. Main question. Was last year a fluke, or are the Bengals actual perennial contenders?
I think it could be I think last year they got the right matchups to get to the Super Bowl. They happened to be the team that had solved the Chiefs already, playing them and already seen them already and having success and then doing the same thing against it. Like, I think they had that fortune. A fluke? I have to say, yeah, because I still don't think Zach Taylor's that dude. So, yeah, I think it's more fluke than perennial.
That answers my third question, which is, will Zach be whack or will he be lit?
I think it's going to be whack.
How worried do you think they should be about Joe Burrow's emergency appendectomy and the fact that he hasn't practiced? Do you think that's...
Nah. Be all right.
No?
Joe will be all right, man. Joe Burrow.
I think he'll be okay.
They just got to make sure that they remember that the defense is really good and keep that thing going.
That's true. Steelers. I mean, if Mitch Trubisky does wind up as the starting QB, what week do you predict that the fans will start screaming for Kenny Pickett?
Never say never, but never.
Nah, I think they week 2. I don't think it'll be long, man. I don't think it'll be long, but then again, the Steelers are gonna it's gonna be Steelers football, man. So they don't ever put too much, but he just can't lose the game. Don't lose the game. But I remember at one point when they were throwing the ball more than everybody in the league just a few years ago, when they weren't running.
Right.
But I think they're not going to do that anymore. But it's a pretty, I mean, Mike Tomlin, he does what, I don't know, it seems like he figures out what the team needs to do and then leans on that.
What do you think the odds are on my man, former Bulldog George Pickens, winning Offensive Rookie MVP?
Pretty high odds. We know that the Steelers, I mean, and they got another dude there. That's balling.
And that's not even me being a homer. This guy looks legit.
He
right?
looks legit, and they got another receiver, the white guy, 84 or whatever his name is.
Oh, they got a white guy?
Yeah, they got a white dude that's out there balling. He may or may not make the team, but he was out there scorching them. They had me looking like, I don't know, I was watching the game, I was like, damn, because I have an idea who wins that division, and it wasn't the Steelers, and now I'm like, am I wrong?
That's interesting that you mentioned that, because my last question about the Steelers is that, some would argue, I don't know if you can argue that this is like a bad roster or if we're just worried about the fact that they're in transition. But do you think that Mike Tomlin will keep that winning record streak alive?
No, non-losing record.
Correct. Yes,
but now is that you can't have a tie anymore. So,
right.
Do they win 9 games? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I believe in Mike.
Yeah, definitely. Until proven otherwise,
All right, on to the Ravens. Will Lamar Jackson get paid?
Not before the season.
What's your take on?
The problem is the backup is just as good as him, so it's like he doesn't have as much leverage as you would think. You know what I mean?
Let's go, Tyler Huntley.
Did you see my post in the thing? Is it Lamar Huntley or Tyler Jackson that we're watching right now?
You know what I did think was stupid is how people were like, I hate the internet sometimes. People were making a lot of comments about how Lamar Jackson was sitting on the sidelines with his big diamond chain while he's in the midst of trying to negotiate his own contract. I was just like, man, fuck. What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, man, that's nothing. Like, people need to sit the fuck down.
Yeah, dude.
They don't like it thrown in their face that this young brother making more money than them.
I'm a little curious what you think about the Ravens' ability to bounce back from this injury-riddled season that they had last year. I'm wondering if is there something, you have these teams that can fall into this trap, and you wonder if it's something systematic with the way that they practice or something. You know what I mean?
They're a physical team, man, and that could happen. It's not like it's something that happens every year, so I think odds are they're not going to have as many injuries as last year just because of the odds, but I think they're going to come out and punch everybody in the goddamn mouth this year. I feel good about that team for some reason. And they got some receivers now, it looks like.
True. I'm also curious, will John Harbaugh extend the same offer to his Ravens players that his brother Jim offered to his players at Michigan, offering to adopt any of the players' children that they were planning to abort? Did you see that story over the offseason?
Yes,
he was like, we got a big house. We'll take your kids. I'm like, are you fucking...
He's out of his goddamn mind. But that's Jim, man. I think John Harbaugh is going to stay away from shit like that.
That's some crazy talk.
Especially if he messes around and accidentally... brings in to help the defensive secondary, brings in Cromartie, who would never use a condom. Cromartie with all them kids.
Oh man! All right, Browns.
Man,
no team.
Fuck that guy.
Is more under the microscope because of this Deshaun Watson mess. I'm actually curious if we see an internal meltdown of some kind.
That's my prediction, man. They're gonna be tired of this shit. Some of them probably look at him like, like with disdain anyway already. And yeah, we'll see, man.
Like,
he doesn't seem like the type to win them over. I don't know.
I'm just kind of curious, like, how long is it gonna take for these players? Like, let's say because of the suspension, the Browns come out and they just start losing. Like, how long is it going to take for these players for it to really sink in that you're fucking with my career right now?
Yeah.
You may be happy with your 11 games, but this is my fucking career, bro.
Yeah.
And this year winds up being a throwaway year for a lot of these players.
Or they could get mad at the league for Like someone might feel it's unfair that they changed it from 6 to 11. You know, that could go that way too.
Sure.
Especially if he's like, I think it depends on how he's acting while he's in the. Oh no, he can't be in the locker room.
No.
But 2 years ago, I would have been like, man, he seems like the type of guy that can win over the locker room in the end. And, you know, his talent being what it is, I wouldn't be as worried about him. But now, after last year, after quitting on a team like that, it just feels like he doesn't seem like that type of dude. People might start seeing through that shit. What might be.
Last question about the Browns. Should Jacoby Brissett be everyone's favorite backup quarterback?
No.
I feel like this dude, think about it, he's with the Colts when Andrew Luck suddenly retires out of nowhere, right? Has to take over that job. He plays backup to Tua in Miami, barely sees the field. And now he gets tossed into the fire because all this.
No, he
Watson
saw the
shit.
field too much in Miami last year.
Well, that was
Tua
because
was out for like 5 games, right?
That's true.
Because remember he got hurt?
Yeah.
And then they had to take him out. Brissett was so bad that he got hurt, and everybody was like, yes. And then they put Tua in, and he wins the game against the Ravens.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that one.
So it's like Brissett, he looked so bad that I'm shocked that he's on a team. And Cleveland's going to get a little taste of that because Brissett is not, unless he was hiding an injury or something, because he was throwing him into the ground like Donovan McNabb.
Oof. Ouch.
Yeah, man.
Nice. Good answer. Okay, now on to the AFC South, the best division in football. The Jags. Let's go. There's a lot of questions for the Jags. First main question, very general, but is Trevor Lawrence, is he the truth? Is he that good?
Jury's still out. I saw like everybody was on his sack about like how he played in some parts of the last game, but I remember watching it and being like, what is he doing? Like a few times. What is he doing? There's this one throw to his left outside the numbers. It felt like he could never nail that throw. And I don't know, man. Maybe I'm hating. I don't know what it is, but I just wasn't feeling them as much as people are. I think everybody's really anxious and ready to ordain this guy. And it's just like, maybe we wait a little bit.
The other big question is, can new head coach Doug Peterson fill the shoes of former head coach Urban Meyer? I mean,
no.
Talk about a low bar.
For entertainment, yeah. Peterson, it already looks like the offense looked like it was popping a little bit when I watched them. And I was like, and I remember I saw one play, they were at a goal line, it was like 4th down, and I was expecting to see that little fake play they did in the Super Bowl when they beat the Patriots. I forget what it's called. They had a name for it, but I thought we were going to see that. We didn't, but I believe in Peterson. I always liked him as a coach. He fucked around and found out in Philly, but it wasn't because of being a bad coach. It's because of losing the game on purpose.
What do you think about Christian Kirk? Do you think he will excel as the most expensive wide receiver number 3 in league history?
I think Christian Kirk is going to help our boy out a lot.
I think you're right. He's a damn good slot receiver.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're planning on playing him, but he was a pretty good security blanket for Baby Yoda when D-Hop went down last year.
I think they're going to be good with more options too. Yeah, they're going. I think they're definitely not going to be as bad as under Urban Meyer because Peterson knows what he's doing.
On to the Texans.
Woohoo!
I actually don't really know what to ask about this team, other than will they win any games at all this year?
Who's their
Oh wait, I forgot. They have Davis Mills. They're fine.
Oh, they're rolling him out, huh?
They believe in Davis Mills. I believe that was a direct quote. I just hope they don't blame this all on Lovie Smith because
This was what I was gonna say. I told Sandra, I was like, just sometimes I just have a rant to my wife. Poor her, man.
Right.
And I was walking around just thinking about football as you do. And I was like, you know what? I know she had to think it came way out of left field. I was like, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to make a prediction right now. the Houston Texans are going to be a decent team because they have a really good coach, and they're going to outperform all expectations and be middle of the pack for 2-3 years, and then they're going to decide that it's time to move on and get a better coach, and it's just time for the organization to take another step in the right direction, and that's when they're going to cut ties with Lovie Smith and get a white coach to carry that team that's already been improving on to the next level. And that's my prediction. And I think it's going to happen.
And her reaction was like, who the fuck is Lovie Smith?
She actually tried to engage in it. She was just like, what do you think race has to do with it? And I was just breaking it down like, this is what happens to black coaches, man.
So you think they're going to hand it off to some guy who had a cup of coffee with McVay then?
Exactly. It's going to be a McVay associate that comes in there and doesn't really work out, and then they have to blow it off.
Or actually, better yet, maybe they just give it to Sean McVay's barista, like a guy who can make a latte. He can make a latte where he can put the Texans logo in the foam, and they're like, "Yep, you're hired."
It's our guy. So I feel like it will be blamed on Lovie Smith eventually, but it happened to him in Tampa and in Chicago. Like, they get these black coaches, and sorry to make it about race, y'all, but it obviously seems to be about race.
It does appear to be a pattern.
Yeah.
On to the Titans. Everyone is predicting a massive fall here. I guess the question is how hard do they fall?
I think they missed the
buying
playoffs,
into the fall?
maybe. I think they're gonna fall. Because they had the number one record in AFC last year, right? Yeah, they're gonna fall.
True. I mean, they had a terrible draft. They lost AJ Brown to the Eagles.
Yeah.
Julio obviously didn't work out. The Tannehill experiment, is it over?
I don't think it's over, but yeah. We already know how this goes.
But they are who we thought they were.
It's just a middle of bottom tier quarterback now.
But this so-called second coming of Michael Vick, this dude Malik Willis, he looks. I mean, he's only playing against the 2s and the 3s, but he's been a consistent storyline throughout week 1 and 2 of the preseason.
We'll see, man. Maybe he can ignite that offense. We'll see. But he's going to have to throw the ball downfield. He's going to have Derrick Henry.
Are you buying that this is the beginning of the end for Derrick Henry? Because I feel like a lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are fading him.
Breaking that foot doesn't help. He broke his foot at the end of the year last year, so I don't know. And they don't mind running him into the ground, so beginning at the end. It's also the numbers game too. He's been in the league for a while now, so
Factoring in the Davis Mills effect in Texas, will the Titans be the worst team in this division?
No, they're gonna either win or be second place. This is gonna be a hard one to guess the winner of, actually.
A little tricky.
Because this next one is gonna be interesting.
Well, because let's move on to the Colts. I feel like there's a lot of unanswered questions there. So my first question is: after 5 quarterbacks in 5 years for Frank Reich, will Matty Ice finally prove to be the man he was looking for all along?
No, Matt Ryan is not the quarterback Frank Reich is looking for all along. He might be the quarterback to get the job done, but Frank Reich wants a quarterback of the future, and that is not Matt Ryan. So,
because they start 5 quarterbacks in 5 years. They had Luck, Brissett, Phillip, doggone dagnabbit Rivers, Carson Wentz, and now they got Matty Wheels.
Yeah, so it sounds like a bunch of Band-Aids, and they just need to draft a good quarterback. Except for Andrew Luck, who that ruined everything for them.
Right.
But I think Reich wants a young quarterback of the future. Even, you know what? Even like a Baker Mayfield type would have been something he preferred to, I think. That's young and can maybe do something if Mayfield were, good for that offense. You know what I mean? I think
that Matt Ryan could be an upgrade from Carson Wentz for sure. But I think if their O-line is trash, it won't matter.
Yeah.
None of that will matter. None of it.
Yeah.
Because he won't be able to get out of the way. Also, I'm a little curious who the hell he's going to be throwing the ball to. I mean, they didn't really go out and spend any money on that. We're supposed to believe that somehow Michael Pittman Jr. is going to make some kind of massive leap. But other than that, they got Paris Campbell, Alec Pierce. Are there other top wideouts? The twos and threes I've never even heard of.
They got a good tight end over there.
True.
The big guy.
Mo Alley Cox.
Yeah. Yeah, that's but Matt Ryan will be able to he'll max out their offensive capability, I believe.
What about Jonathan Taylor? You think he's going to do what he did last year?
Yes. Yeah, I think he's going to be, I mean, for those fantasy players out there, it's going to be a good pull. You know he's going to touch the ball, he catches out of backfield, you know, it's going to be, yeah.
Are you aware that Darius Leonard wants to be called Shaquille now? Have you heard this story? He apparently he wants to be called Shaquille Leonard.
Okay.
Like that's his real name or something. I don't know.
Okay, wow.
So, but I don't know. That's
good. Congratulations, Shaquille.
So that's just a little update for us moving forward. If he makes a play, we got to call him Shaquille Leonard now.
We do not care.
I actually am really curious about their defense.
This is gonna be good.
I mean, they've got Ngakoue now. They got Stephon Gilmore. I mean, it seems like on paper they should.
They were good. They were a top 10 defense last year.
Yeah. I mean, it could easily be the worst division in football. So I feel like the Colts should run away with this thing.
Yeah. They
right?
should, yeah. But like you said, no receivers. But they got a good quarterback. Just stay away from the 35-yard line.
Exactly. If you get to the 35-yard line, just take a knee.
Just kick it from there.
Just take a knee.
Just kick it while you can. You got to kick it from third while you're in field goal range.
Just go from third to fourth down. Just take a knee and kick the fucking field goal. Because they got my man, former Bulldog Rodrigo Blankenship, kicking field goals. He's back this year.
Okay.
That dude's money from the spot. Mr. Lego Man. He's got his own like Instagram Lego account where he like builds Legos. This guy's like a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
I love him. On to the last division, which is the true main character inside of the main character.
Yeah.
The AFC
the
West.
main character of the NFL.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
This division is absolutely loaded.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to know how this one's going to go down. We're going to start with the Chiefs. We're going to start with the Chiefs. Why bury the lead? Right? My main question is, what is this new look offense going to look like? Right? No more Tyreek, but they got Juju. They got Marquez Valdez-Scantling. They got this rookie Sky Moore. What do we think is going to happen here?
They also have the tight end, the best tight end in the NFL.
That's true. He's quite talented.
And they have top 5
Travis
quarterback.
Kelce.
Got top 5.
I didn't want to mention my man, former Bulldog Miko Hardman, because he's out with a groin injury. But
but
he
Hardman
can come back.
Yeah, they got. They don't have the teleporter anymore, but no. But I'm gonna have to say it's gonna be a high octane offense, and it's gonna take people by storm, like catch people off guard because nobody's seen it yet. They're playing around with a vanilla offense, looking insane in the preseason, and when they unleash it after the season, it's gonna be a wonderful thing to finally see Eric Bieniemy not get hired as a head coach. They're gonna be like, we were close. We were close to hiring him, but bad interview.
So close to hiring that Negro. He's a nice fella.
Exactly. He's a nice fellow. He's not uppity at all, but he's just not what we're looking for.
Too dark.
We need a more when we hire a Negro, we want more of a Mike McDaniel type.
Right.
We want Octoroon.
We're looking for the Lena Horne of head football coaches. Let's go. If they do stumble out of the gates like they did last year? Do you think they can recover? I don't feel like there's going to be a lot of room for error in this division this year.
No, if they stumble out of the gates, then we can kiss our bet goodbye. Oh, I'm sorry, did I?
Because that was legit. That was legit last year. Remember how bad they were in the first 6 weeks of the season?
We were shocked. We thought we were going to lose our bet right away. And we were like, that was the one that we were like, all right, we got them. Let's go. Next. This division turned it around quickly.
I'm curious about how the secondary is going to look without DeAndre Baker. Honestly, what are they going to do?
I think they'll be all right.
No, but in all seriousness, the secondary was really bad last year. I feel like they have to. I hope that they manage to fix that shit.
Yeah, man. And
maybe getting rid of DeAndre Baker is what they needed to do. I don't know.
The receivers only getting better in that division too.
True. On to the Raiders. Derek Carr. He's going to be out here throwing the ball to Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, and Devontae Adams. One question. Can they be stopped?
Yeah. No. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're going to be another high-powered offense. I wouldn't be surprised if they win a division. But I don't believe in Josh McDaniels.
Okay.
It's a new coach, new system. I think Derek Carr is going to have some fun, but I don't know. I think it's just a matter of time before he's back on the Patriots with his tail between his legs like the rest of them.
It's funny how the Patriots are like almost like a version of John Gruden's failed coaches academy, right?
Fired.
Right? They all go out and then they get fired and then they come back to the Patriots. And now you got a defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, supposedly calling plays for the offense. What about the connection between Adams and Carr, this college connection? Are you buying into that, or do you think?
Nah, I think we'll see, man. Everybody evolves. We'll see where they're at with that. I think maybe they'll know some tendencies and stuff. It might make them quicker to gel, but we'll see, man. I think once Derek Carr removes the eyeliner, I think he's gonna see things a lot clearer. It's because of the eyeliner that he can't take another contract. He can't play for another team. He's technically has a quarterback's eye patch, and it goes right with the Raiders. He's got to go either to the Bucks or play for the Raiders or his whole career because he's got the pirate eye.
I'm interested to see this defense. They picked up Chandler Jones from the Cardinals. Max Crosby is back. But the last time I remember, the secondary was pretty problematic. In a pass-heavy division like this one, a good
that was their
DB
Achilles
might
heel,
actually be the difference, right?
Yeah.
And also, what about the run game? I mean, I had Josh Jacobs in fantasy last year, and this dude was questionable every week.
Oh, yeah.
They picked up Brandon Bolden from the Patriots.
Well, what a surprise.
They just cut Kenyon Drake. I saw that this morning.
I didn't know that.
Presumably they cut him because they like what they see from my man, former Bulldog Zamir White. I don't know, but they're going to keep him.
Just a quick slurp. Just one.
I keep bringing it up. That's why I gave you the bottle opener, because I'm just going to keep talking about these Bulldogs. It's not my fault that 15 of them went in the fucking draft. It's not my fault. Anyway, Chargers. LA Chargers.
Yeah.
It's only one question. Is this year that the Chargers stop playing like the Chargers?
I'm going to have to go with a no.
Because they are that other team, kind of like the Falcons, where they say, like, Chargers going to Charger.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I think almost every fan base says that.
Yeah, but these guys live up to it.
Yeah, they do too. Yeah, so is my team. It's Dolphins going Dolphin. We get that.
But even worse, because they have a legit roster.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. It's weird. It's like they got the quarterback. They had a good defense. They got like a star on the defensive line. I don't know what. They can't ever put it together, but they also...
I feel like this is going to be a high-pressure season for Brandon Staley. You've got the most electric quarterback in the league throwing the ball to Mike Williams, Keenan Allen.
They always got a receiver core.
You got Austin Eckler running the rock. On D, you got Joey Bosa on one side, Khalil Mack on the other. If this you got to make the fucking playoffs. Yeah, that was actually my next question. Is it playoffs or bust for the Chargers?
It is, yeah.
It has to be.
You know what? I think turning the page on Staley might have been what they could have done at the end of the year last year and just grab Doug Peterson right away. I think he would have been great with that offense, or putting together something for that offense. I felt like him being after the Philly thing, I was surprised that he didn't get plucked by somebody. But it was such a weird situation the way he got fired.
I feel like
they could have gone with a tried and true coach to kind of turn it around.
I feel like if you also factor in the fact, they got the Rams, their roommates, playing in the same stadium. They just won the Super Bowl in your house, right? It's like they took that girl that your sister's best friend that you've been trying to hook up with since high school, right? You bump into her at the bar. She decides to go home with the Rams instead of you, and then you had to listen to her get rocked all night long with the the hat trick of orgasms while you sat in your room and played Madden. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think this is a major high pressure season for the Chargers.
Agreed.
Broncos, Danger Russ is in town, and he says he's ready to ride.
I haven't seen him play yet.
I haven't seen him play yet. I haven't seen him either. But I'm curious, does he have enough pieces around him to even get out of the fucking parking lot?
We said how that was the perfect destination for a quarterback. That team was just ready, waiting on a quarterback. Now we get to test that. We get to see if we were right about that or not. And so there's no excuse for him, man. I know it's a tough division, but you're there. You're supposed to be MVP candidate the last, 8 years. Well, let's see what you got.
I kind of feel like the Broncos are my early pick for worst team in this division. I don't think it's going to work year one.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't say like that. This division might send 4 teams to the playoffs too.
Maybe, but again, he's in the same situation as a lot of quarterbacks. If the O-line sucks, none of that's really going to matter.
That's every quarterback.
That's every quarterback, but some quarterbacks can navigate around that.
Yeah. If there's one that can, it's him too, though.
They also lost Tim Patrick.
Don't forget how bad the offensive line was in Seattle.
Exactly.
That's why he ran out of town. So I think he can handle a bad offensive line.
They lost Tim Patrick to a season-ending ACL.
Oh, I didn't know.
I read the other day that they got 10 receivers who all have a shot of making the final roster.
Wow.
Jerry Jeudy is still a big question mark.
Why?
Well, just because he didn't
in general
touchdown pass last year.
Okay, I see what
he's just a question mark as a receiver. Like, is he really going to work out?
Who was their quarterback?
You know what I mean? Drew Lock.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, what did they...
And Teddy Bridgewater. What, didn't they split between Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater?
Yeah, it was like... Come on, man. They got a legit quarterback now.
We'll see. My final question is for the league front office, the NFL writ large.
Okay.
In light of how they managed the Deshaun Watson situation,
okay,
the Dan Snyder situation,
right,
the Stephen Ross situation, the Brian Flores situation, and the race norming situation, which is back in the news, where they devalued black players' intelligence so it would be harder for them to qualify for compensation related to CTE.
Why do we watch this?
And now they got caught. They're doing anything. They're not doing anything to let these people know that previously did not qualify for compensation. They're not doing anything to let them know that they probably qualify now, right? We're talking about thousands of former players. Okay. Shout out to Scott Pioli for fucking calling them out.
Yeah.
He's been ripping them all week about this. Now, the question, I already think I know the answer to the question that I want to ask. And the answer is probably on a king-size bed with 10 million thread count sheets, drowning in money and whores. But honestly, how the fuck do these idiots sleep at night? How?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe they're just counting the money.
And the whores. Money and whores.
Sex workers.
Sex workers. Shit, I forgot. I gotta work on my nomenclature. It keeps changing all the time. I don't even know what gender I am anymore.
Well, thanks for the questions. We went through.
Yeah.
We knocked out all of the AFC. And yeah, we're ready to make an educated decision, educated guesses and bets next week. Those of you that want to follow us in our bet, follow our bets and whatnot, you got to join us on Patreon to get our bet and episodes every week. Patreon.com/SveNFL.
Also in Patreon, we're doing the fantasy fantasy draft this weekend.
Yeah, Sunday night.
Those of you who are already in the league got an email about it. Also in the Facebook group for you non-fantasy or non-Patreon people, we're coming back with the Pigskin Pick'em.
Yeah,
which we do every week. So that's up on the Facebook group now for anybody who wants to join that.
I did not win.
I did not win either. I don't remember who
won.
We were good like midway through the season, but then we fell off. Yeah. What are you gonna do? What else? What else we got?
That's it, man. We're gonna keep it coming to you. This was a little bit longer episode, but we're gonna keep bringing y'all that content, and it's gonna be fun, man. We're ready to get the season started.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thanks for checking this episode out. It's been Jonathan Rollins
and Schif Musara,
and we'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Later, y'all.